All right, there we go. Well, that's the end of it, of that clip. Figured I bypassed the Mr. Rogers one tonight. We'll see how it goes. All right, so what's up, Amigo like geeks and freaks? It's been a while. I got a pile of shit here that I'm going to show you today. Go over some stuff. Lots of different little things from different areas. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to comment. This should be coming over, I believe it should be coming over YouTube and Facebook in the Migo Like group right now. If you're not a member of the Migo Like Facebook group, I'd recommend you join. Not everything in there has to do with Migo. We just named it that for a long-standing history of something. So, but you can talk about anything. Any action figures, any comic books, any movies, any TV shows, whatever you like. So we like to keep an open room. It's probably one of the last few rooms in Facebook that we actually pretty much allow what I would say is open conversation. As long as you're not completely a dick, then you don't have to worry about it. And I don't mean you can't use crude humor. That's always fun and acceptable because it's a room for adults, not for kids. But we just don't want you telling anybody you're going to, harm them in any way or anything like that. But just be a human being and be an adult. That's all there is to it. All right. Stop crying that you're not getting. All right, here we go. So let's get started. So I got a couple things going on I'm going to show you. Where do we start? Well, let's start with this guy. So I was very fortunate. I was able to get two, and I know somebody's going to hate when I say this because I never do the name right, but two Hasbro G.I. Joe Atomic Man Mike Power, not without the S, I think, Powers. One was nude, but complete, and the other one had the shirt. So because my buddy Brian Sanchez has been so good and helpful with my collection and not only answering questions among other people like Danny Gates and Samillo and Dr. Durant, Martin Sarr, Johnny Shedrick, David Gunn. Who else did I miss? Anyway, Max Overnighter. Did I miss any? Berto Legati and a whole bunch of other people. But Sanchez has done really nice things for me. Sent me a lot of cool shit without being prompted for anything in return. So I got two of these. So I sent Sanchez one of them, his request. And we're just, going back and forth. So it's a pretty cool figure. The goal was, because he was inexpensive, I was trying to find some old vintage Joes that I could get into, into some of the outfits I have here. I got a lot of pieces. I don't know if they're complete, but I'll see if I can get some of them out so I can put them on display. And since he was so inexpensive for the two of them, they're like $30 each or something. I figured, what the hell? Why not? I think his eye even works. I'm not even sure because we should have tested that, but I can't even tell if his eye is working or not. I have to look. Anyway, regardless, for display. Anyway. All right, so let's get him out of the way. Then the next thing is I have Steve Austin figure from Kenner. I have the Lily Leedy Steve Austin figure, which I really like. And I'll show you in a second. Then I bought two. One was basically a beater. It had one of the critical arms, but it's missing all the fun stuff, if you will. He was missing an arm. He had one critical limb leg, but it was missing all the flesh pieces to go over top. It's like, that's all right. I got to figure out what all the buttons do. I haven't gotten into that yet. And then he also had a Maskatron leg. He had one Maskatron leg. I don't need that as a Maskatron. Unfortunately, somebody in our group does need it, which is Danny Gates. So, Danny, this is going in your pile with the Steve Scout stuff, the balloon stuff that I promised you I'd get you. But I thought it was pretty cool. He does work. I'm sure everybody knows at this point that if you do this, a lot of sellers go, the arm doesn't work, I'm pushing the button. But obviously it's because you have to turn the head to get it to click. And then, well, it was working. And then his arm should start going up. Turn the head, release, and he's off again. Okay. But what I was really looking for in that, more than anything, is Oscar Goldman. Now, he's got a pretty nice jacket with a very small stain on it. He had two arms. Unfortunately, when he got here, I didn't realize his hand was chewed to shit. So I popped his arm off. You can see the plastic broke. The arm will go on. It'll stay on for display. But again, fortunately, good friends help out. And Brian Sanchez and his leg was also, when I got the G.I. Joe boot off his foot, he only has one shoe, no socks, and his pants are beat to shit. So I got to look for pants, socks, one more shoe. And if you see his foot here, was quite chewed up. So Brian Sanchez was good enough to get me the hookup on the 2 legs I need for that $6 million man figure and the one leg I need for Oscar Goldman. I think his arm, but regardless, I'm not too worried about that right now. But definitely cool. I did wash the clothes up. They came out nice. His jacket, I don't know what material they made out, but it's very crisp. The jacket, it's thick material. So obviously a quality toy. We don't see that in many companies these days, do we? No. All right. Also extra was in there because this was one of the figures was wearing a Maskatron shirt. So if anybody needs a Maskatron shirt, feel free to hit me up. It's an extra for me, and be happy to help out. Okay. So let me show you what I've showed this. It's on my Migo Like, and I've showed this before. This is a figure. I think it's from France or Belgium or Spain. I forget. It's Mechano. I can't remember. But he's got all European languages. Now, this is a sealed version. I have 2 of these. One's a little crushed. And you can see there's a figure in there. And basically what happens is you can, there's a, I thought it was a paper. I just realized there's a plastic goal in there. You can see it in the back. See the white? There's a goal back there. And the figure has, he's on the stand. And I'm going to show it to you in a second. And you push a button in the stand and he kicks. So he's got, a little soccer ball in there. You can kick into the goal, which is pretty interesting. What is more interesting about is the figure does not come attached to the stand, and you have to look at it, and I'll show you in a minute, but you actually have to attach him to the stand, and it's done with 2 screws. So this toy is probably about as unchild friendly for the reason that, first of all, you attach it to screws. So I'm assuming most parents were doing that. But the other thing is they came with outfits. Now, I only have one outfit, and I forget who it is. I think it's, who's got it? Shit, somebody in our group has all of them. I can't remember. But he has all of these outfits. But to get the outfit on, you have to unscrew the figure from the stand. I'm going to show you how that's done in a minute. In order to get the outfit over. And he has on his left leg, he has kind of this extra platform that his shoe is glued to, which is what holds him down when you put those 2 screws in. I'm going to show that to you. So it's a really neat figure. They're a little pricey. I got one for like $29. It was like a charity auction. And the box a little bit crushed, but still sealed. So I bought that. But then I bought the loose one. I'm going to show you why in a second. So this is what he looks like loose. You see here, there's 2 screws that you have to put him on. You put him in there. Once you put him in, on the bottom here, there's this little plastic peg. And then coming out of his leg is this metal rod with a loop that you push over the plastic. Now, when I got him, he wasn't kicking. All right. So I said, all right, no problem. I want to take him apart because I wanted to clean his clothes anyway. What I like about him is he has the Adidas version outfit. So the Adidas version outfit is a little harder to come by. It's a little less, it's a little more expensive. It's not quite that cheap. Now he's a 10-inch figure, but he's pretty buff. He reminds me of like the old Super Jock figures. I know they weren't quite like this, but they were just buffer figures. They weren't, his scaling is, he almost has like a G.I. Joe size head on a 10-inch body. It's pretty big. And the head moves a little bit and so on. But the idea here was that you put the soccer ball in one of these 3 holes, and then you push this button, and he kicks. Now, he was not doing this when I got him. It's a very simple mechanism, actually. This bar gets pushed through here to put pressure on this piece here for tension, so that when you press the button, you can see all it's doing. There's a metal rod that comes out of his leg and grabs onto a piece of plastic, and when you push this, it pulls it down, which pulls the rod. And when you pull the rod, it forces him to kick. Again, it was not doing this. Take the screws out, readjust it, and it's working fine. I give it a bit of a cleanup. There's a little bit of black left over on there that did not come off, but he kicks quite well now. Now, his shorts were really stretched, the elastic on them, and I'm not a good seamster or seamstress or whatever. So I wound up pulling his shorts in the back, and I have a paper clip on there. I'll probably to kind of hold them together so they're not falling down because they were literally stretched to shit. The elastic was just garbage. So yeah, but he's a very cool figure. I think he'd probably do pretty well. The Big Jim soccer ball. I was talking to Danny Gates, and then he comes with the plastic goal. You have this goalie on a stick, almost like the old air hockey game, if you will, and where he's on the stick, you just bump. But very, very cool. But I want him mainly for the Adidas outfit. It wasn't that expensive. In the box with the Adidas outfit, I've seen people asking $300 for him. It's a lot. So I thought he was pretty cool. He's a neat thing. Some of the other stuff that I've been picking up, some of these classics illustrated comics. They're old And they're just basically famous stories, if you will, Three Musketeers. And apparently there's hundreds of them because I've seen the numbers go up. But I've been buying them in lots. They're all readers' copies. I'm not getting them to make money or anything. But I just thought the artwork on them is fantastic. They've got some really cool stuff on them, and they're just old stories. And then they had, of course, there's some classics. There's a classic they illustrated, the Mutineers, and then the Classics Junior, which is another series, I think, for little kids, and that's Thumbelina. But I have piles of these now. I'm going to thank Brian Sanchez for getting me started on those. It's all his fault. Okay, let's go into the next thing. And the next thing I have, and this is the third one that I bought, and I'll tell you why in a moment. These are the Thundering Firebirds. They're not so good there, but and Space Set by Z Toys. Z Toys made a whole bunch of Matchbox or Hot Wheels rip-off cars back in the day. I mean, you name it, they made them. Z Toys, for whatever reason, even though this kind of crappy knockoff brand, I guess, if you will, they tend to get quite expensive. They were typically blister carded, or they came in a kind of a window box, if you will. What this set, like I said, I have 3 of them, and I'll tell you why. When I was probably about 10 years old, we went back to the United States. We went to Washington, D.C. I was living in Bahrain at the time. I think it was 10 or 11. So we go to Bahrain. We go to Washington, D.C. Bahrain is next to Saudi Arabia. It's a little island, if you will. And we wound up going to the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, which happens to be and is still one of my favorite museums ever. We go to the gift shop, and I see this, and I beg my father to get this for me. Now, it's a knockoff of the Thunderbirds, right? The Thunderbirds program, you've seen them. Matchbox did series. I was an old marionette show. Was it Jerry Anderson? On TV I used to watch, and it didn't dawn on me that these were. I just thought, oh, this is cool. I'm in the gift shop. You're a kid. You want to get something. So we bought them and took it home. In the car on the way home, this plane right here, and I'm going to open this up so you guys can see it, broke. I mean, within 5 minutes. That's how cheap they are. They're part metal. They're part plastic. And let me just show you what they do. So they're all knockoffs of Thunderbird planes. So what happens is this one you would put the wings in. See if it'll even grab now. Yeah, it did it once and then it may not again. Okay, so the wings go in and then there's a little button, and if you press this, supposedly the wings pop out. That broke within 5 minutes of having it in my hand, and I wasn't being rough with it. But these tend to get expensive. This is one of the Thunderbirds. The other pieces that it came with this one, which was also one of the Thunderbirds. And this one, if you spin the back, it turns the drill. It's like a earth burrowing thing. Then they had this rocket, and I don't remember all the Thunderbird numbers for these. I really don't. This might have been Thunderbird 5 for all I know, or 6. I don't remember. It's just a rocket. They also sell these individually, by the way. Z Toys made them outside the set. Then they put this launcher on here, which you'd put a rubber band, and you would snap this back with a rubber band, and you press the button, and it would, send the spaceship on its way. That one's really jammed there. They send the spaceship on its way and shoot across the ground, right? But this is the one that I love the most, and this is the one that I remember the most from a kid. Now, if you look at this, it says Thundering Firebirds because they clearly ripped off the Thunderbirds without any licensing or permission. I'm not going to be able to probably show this to you on camera, so you're going to have to take my word for it. This is one of the Thunderbirds. This is probably the one that I remember the most. The back of it says Firebird 2. You can see it with the sticker. Okay. If you flip it over to the bottom, and I don't think you're going to be able to see it, on the bottom, it actually says Thunderbird on it. So they marked the bottom. They didn't show it on the top. I don't know, made in China. But what's really neat is this does exactly what it used to do in the old TV show. Just a very miniature version. First of all, it has the little wheels, and then it has these little, I don't know if these are broken. I haven't tried to take them out yet. They have these little pop-out legs, right? So the little pop-out legs, and the idea was that it would sit on its legs. I'm going to put them back because I don't want them to break. The piece in the middle, just like the TV show, would drop out. So you can literally pop this piece out of this little miniature matchbox size thing, and you'd have this little tiny container. Inside this container, if you pop this open, there's actually another miniature Thunderbird plane, which was, I believe, the submarine that went in with that. So on the TV show, this is exactly what it had. I have 3 of these sets. They're very hard to find. The reason I bought 3 is because I remembered that day in the museum very specifically. It was a very momentous day for me. We had stayed at this hotel in Washington, D.C., and the day before I was downstairs in the arcade in the hotel. I begged my dad for quarters, and I go to the arcade, and what do you think happened? Down there, I ran into one of my classmates from Bahrain, and not an American, one of the Arab kids I went to school with. As a matter of fact, I went to school with the royal family. The Prince of Bahrain was my classmate, believe it or not. Same age, you can look him up, Salman Al Khalifa. And his whole family went to the American school instead of the Arab school. So I saw one of his cousins there, which was kind of neat. And then we went to the museum, and I saw this, and I bought it, and I remembered it, and I lost it at some point. My parents got divorced. I never took any of my Matchbox cars because I didn't realize we were going to go back to the United States permanently. My mom told me, take something you like, that you don't want to leave behind for a while. We thought we were going for the summer. We wound up coming back because we were getting divorced. So kind of lost everything. I couldn't remember the name of that set. I couldn't remember. All I remember is I was at the gift shop at the Smithsonian, and it had this cool plane that the wings came out, and the one with the inverted wings, which is the Thunderbird. Literally couldn't remember it. So that I was 10. About 2 years ago, I believe, realized that's 42 years. I'm browsing the internet, and I come across a website. I forgot what it's called. It's pretty cool. I think it's called Moon Station Alpha. And the guy puts like all space toys on it. And as I'm browsing through just randomly, a picture pops up on Google. I go, oh my God, that's the set. And I go to his webpage, and there it is, the set. Ran to eBay to see if I could find one, and by some crazy stroke of luck, I found one. Bought it. Didn't care. Found another one. Bought it. This is the third one I bought and bought it. Or saw and bought it. Really just brings back memories. I'm not buying them to, sell them, make money, but it's got that internal thing, that thing when you impulse buy, like Max Overnighter was talking about today. You impulse buy because you see something that kicks in a memory or something that reminds you of something that you really, really enjoyed, maybe at a different time in your life. So that's why I have that. So this is the third one. I have one over there. I'm trying to find where I actually have 3 of them. I know where 2 of them are. This one, another one. I don't know where the third one is. I think I packed in the box. So very excited. So let me show you what is the last piece I want to show you tonight. I never knew this existed. I was doing some Bionic Man searching. This came up. Now, when I was a kid, I had Tootsie Toys. They were those little metal cars. They were just metal, painted one color, purple, lavender, green, whatever, with the little metal axles and rubber wheels. At least I think they were rubber wheels. And I don't know, when I was a little kid, I don't know why I used to put them in my mouth, and I could still taste that nasty metal taste to this day. It was so gross. Anyway, Tootsie Toys were something I grew up with. I don't collect Tootsie Toys, but they did make some neat stuff. Tootsie Toys made some cars. They were okay. I mean, they weren't amazing, but they'd make some sets. Let me show you this one I got while I was looking for $6 Million Man stuff. And there's a couple pieces that aren't there, and one of the pieces is wrong, but I'll show it to you. This is the Tootsie Toys Adventure Series Playsets Bio-Tronic Man, complete with Bio-Tronic Laboratory. So you would get this set, all the pieces of laboratory are on here. You get this plane, got this blue truck. You got this trailer, which had a motorcycle that's missing. This is not the truck that came with the set. The truck that came with the set, unless maybe they packed it in here, but the truck that I see in every set, it's a red, like a fire truck, it's a red fire truck, like the Emergency 51 truck, the one, the 2-person one, and it says Biotronic Labs on it. So this one was in here, so I'm gonna leave it there. But the coolest thing that I really liked, and I got kind of fortunate with this is Biotronic Man. Now, if you take a quick look, he's all plastic flesh. I don't know why he's in his skivvies, but he's got these silver bionics in his arms and his stomach and his legs. If you look, the one in the leg is missing. Most of these, the bionics are actually missing, just like the real $6 Million Man one. This just happens to have 2 of them. I don't know if they were glued in and they come out, which is what I think happens, but he had 2, so I thought that was pretty neat. I don't want to take the lab out for you. I don't want to take the lab out because I got to get it all back, and I already packed it away. Took it out once, put it together. But as the plane comes out, but if you take a look at what it involves, you get this gray base, That was a bad idea. You get this gray base with everything falling out. Wonderful. Put that over there. You get this gray base. I should anticipate that. And there's all these lines crisscrossing. Each piece, there's like these computers, like these old-fashioned 60s computers. The screen has like a lab table. It has these little TV monitors. They have the bottom of them have a lip on them, and you can slide them into the spot so they don't move. Right, so they're kind of locked into place, and then you have your play set. So it's a pretty neat. It's actually a really neat toy, to be honest with you. I thought it's pretty cool, and the fact that it's just a $6 million man ripoff just absolutely said to me, like, you gotta have it. You gotta have it. I thought it was really neat, and so again, I went ahead and bought it. Not too much. The guy actually he wanted a lot for it. I said, I'll give you that, but he got it me for $20 less. I said, all right, I'll take that for that amount. So it's a neat set. There's another version of this where you don't have this giant piece. It's a much skinnier piece, I think, of the graphics. It's a completely different graphics. Haven't seen one other than pictures on the internet when I was looking for it. What's up there, Mr. Sanchez? I was just finishing up. So that's the Biotronic Man set. I thought that was pretty cool. All right, Sanchez, since you came in, I want to show you this. So this is the Meccano figure that in order to change the outfits that you can buy, you have to take the two screws out, pull the metal off the plastic tab, lift them out. The metal is the piece that operates the leg. He didn't work when I got him, but he works great now. I fixed him. So he's definitely kicking some ass, if you will. But he's missing his soccer ball and so on. But this is the Adidas version, which I loved. Now, I had to put a clip on the back of his shorts because the elastic, as I was saying before, was all stretched out. But he looks pretty good. The Adidas one is the hard outfit to get. These carded sets do have the Adidas logos on them. This team is the Lens team, and I think there's 8 or 10 of them. I forget. This is number 6. I think, who is it? Somebody in our group has all of them. I forget. They sent me pictures. They're really cool, but this is what he looks like boxed. However, this is the non-Adidas version. He doesn't have Adidas on his shorts or on his shirt. I think he might have been the earlier version, because they do have a version where he has Adidas on it, which he gets very hard to find and quite pricey. All right. Woo! So that was a lot of stuff. I have a few other things here and there. I'll do them in another time to do, but that's basically what we're doing today. The comics, the $6 million man figures. And again, Sanchez, I thanked you up and down for hooking me up, arms, the legs, all that good stuff, and the parts over the years, everything you've helped me with, and identification, all that stuff. Thundering Firebirds, which are my favorite. I got to go find, I know where one set is. I got to find the third set because I want those kept together. They're a really cool set. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to wrap this in like saran wrap to kind of keep it flat. Really cool set. Really something I've been missing, or something I've been trying to find for 42 years, and stumbled upon it on Google one day and just like thrilled. As soon as I saw it, had to have it. You get that fever, But that's pretty much it. Have been making some changes in the Toy Room of Solitude. I moved a whole bunch of Marvel stuff. I'm moving a little bit more, and some DC stuff upstairs to what used to be a bedroom, which is now the Hall of Heroes. It's only 10 by 15, but it's the Hall of Heroes. I repainted it. I cleaned it up. It looks nice. I got some shelving up there. I've got all the helmets that I've been buying up there. It's pretty cool. So we got a lot of cool stuff. So I'm very excited for that. I can't get everything up there, but the end goal, I think, is probably to do what Danny Gates had recommended, is get a superhero rug for the middle of the room. And then I'd like to get some full glass cabinets or plastic bins or something that are see-through all the way, so I can put stuff in the middle and then put them in the middle of the room, because it's just going to basically be a place to walk through to hang out, no place to sit. It's just going to be to walk through and be like ood and odd, if you will, by myself. When I'm bored. All right. So that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't liked or subscribed to the YouTube channel, My Amigo Like, please do that. I'd appreciate it. It gives me energy and motivation to keep doing these incredibly informative videos. Yes. We like to bring a little comedy, a little information, a little, no politics, no religion, none of that shit. We just like to try and keep it real. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, My Amigo Like, just Amigo Like, you should. We call it open speech. People standing over your shoulder. treating you like a 3-year-old. We actually expect you and act like adults, because that's what we all are, supposedly. It's not for kids. We don't want any kids joining, please. You have to have a good maturity level, because we have people in there who are making adult humor. Yes, adult humor. Yes. Isn't that amazing? Can't even have adult humor these days. Our whole country is going to craziness. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to sign off. Thank you, guys. Let me just put a little video, and then off it's going to go. So what do we introduced with Goldrake. What should we close with? Oh, I don't know. How about this? All right. Peace, bitches.